What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. I'm so happy you're here because today I'm going to show you and teach you how to do one of my favorite movements, which is the Romanian deadlift. I love this exercise because it really incorporates so many different muscles in different areas of your body, but I love to incorporate it into my routine to really help build and sculpt the hamstrings and glutes. To start the movement, we're going to have our feet about hip width apart and toes pointing straight forwards. This is going to keep the majority of the focus on the hamstrings and the glutes. Before we even incorporate the dumbbells that we're going to use today, I want to show you first how to properly engage your core and how to neutralize your spine. So what do I mean by properly engaging your core? Pulling everything from the pelvic floor up, pulling the belly button inwards towards the spine, and not flaring your ribs. Okay, so what we don't want is sucking everything in and having your ribs flare up and out and having the shoulders come upwards. Rather, we want to pull up from the pelvic floor, pulling the belly in, but keeping the ribs nice and tucked. And a good way that you can tell if you're properly engaging your core is if you take the section from the top of your hip bone here and the bottom of your rib cage. If I'm just standing here, relaxed, not really tightening up my core, if I take my fingers here, they can easily kind of go inwards and there's nothing really stopping them from pushing in. Now, if I pull up from the pelvic floor, pull the belly button inwards, tighten my midsection up, now if I try to push my fingers in, there's a lot of restriction. So that's how you can kind of tell if you're properly engaging the core before you're about to do a lift. So what do I mean by neutralizing the spine? Sometimes our bodies can be in this position in what's called an anterior pelvic tilt. And that's when the pelvis is tilting in a way that's increasing this curve in the lower back. And lifting like that will put unnecessary stress in the lower back, which we definitely do not want. So this is kind of what an anterior pelvic tilt looks like. See how there's an increase in this curvature in my lower back? So what I want to do is tilt my pelvis in a way that's going to neutralize my spine or straighten out my spine. So I'm going from here and I'm going to tuck my hips and come here. And notice how my spine straightens out. So again, I'm here with my anterior pelvic tilt and I already feel kind of a pinching in the lower back, which is not great. I'm going to tuck my hips and my pelvis, and now my back straightens out. So this is how we want to perform the lift. Now that we know how to properly engage our core and how to neutralize our spine, both to help prevent injury, let's get to the actual movement. I'm going to start with my feet about hip width apart, toes pointing straight forwards. And this is going to help keep focus on the glutes and the hamstring. Because like I said, I love this exercise to really build and sculpt the glutes and the hamstrings. Okay, so I'm going to grab my dumbbells and I'm going to have an overhand grip on the dumbbells. So my palms are facing behind me. Okay, feet are hip width apart, toes are pointing forwards. I'm engaging my core, tightening up my midsection, and I'm making sure that my hips are in a posterior tilt. So again, I'm not here, I'm tucking them forward, so now my spine is nice and neutral and straight. I'm keeping my knees nice and loose. I'm not locking out the joint at the top. I'm going to be hinging at my hips or bending at my hips, pretending there's a wall directly behind me and trying to push my butt back towards the wall. The dumbbells are almost kind of resting up against my thighs versus being all the way out here, okay? I'm pulling my shoulders back, tucking my pelvis, and pushing my butt back towards that wall. Now notice how my back is straight and my head is down so that my neck is in alignment with the rest of my back. So I'm not completely tucking my chin so that my head is all the way down here. We don't want this, but we also don't want it all the way cranked up. We want it nice and neutral. And now I'm coming down just until I feel tension or stretching in my hamstrings. Once I feel that, that's my cue to come up. When I'm ready to come up, I'm actively pushing my feet through the floor and coming to the top. When I'm at the top here, I do want you to engage your glutes or squeeze your glutes at the top, but what I don't want you to do is to hyperextend that lower back. So you don't have to do this. That's a big mistake that I see people do. So again, I'm gonna do the movement, pushing my butt back. I feel that tension in the hamstring, so now I know to come up. I'm going to push my feet into the floor to activate the glutes, coming to the top and squeezing, versus here. We don't want to hyperextend that lower back. So one last time, I'm going to show you how not to do the deadlift, and then I'm going to show you how to properly do the Romanian deadlift. How not to do it. Core is relaxed, not engaged. My lower back has an anterior pelvic tilt, so you can see that over curvature in the lower spine. I'm going to crank my neck upwards. I'm going to kind of round my shoulders here, and I'm going to have an over bending in my knee. And then I'm going to come to the top and not engage the glutes at all. And now these are your cues on how to properly do the movement. My feet are about hip width apart, toes are pointing forward, engaging my core, pulling my shoulders back to activate my upper back muscles. I'm going to neutralize my spine by tilting my pelvis forwards. Knees are loose, and I'm going to hinge at the hips and push my butt back towards the wall, coming down just until I feel a stretch in my hamstrings. Notice how my dumbbells are nice and close to my body, and my neck is in alignment with the rest of my back. Now, when I'm ready to come up, I'm going to push my feet into the floor, come to the top, and squeeze my glutes. And just to show you side by side clearly of the differences in forms, the left side is the form that you want to work towards and the right side is not. And most importantly, just remember it takes time and it takes practice. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's so important for me to not only provide you guys with great workouts that you can break a sweat to, but to also teach you how to properly do the movements with good technique. Honestly, not even just for the workout videos, but for your everyday life and how to move better and feel better day to day. So if you found this video helpful, be sure to give it a thumbs up and let me know in the comments. Let me know if you want to see more videos like this. And until the next workout, I'll see you next time.